I don't know what was in the air this week, and I'm not just talking about plastic bags, but it was a nutty one. From one of the biggest trades the NHL has seen in years, several out of this world saves.
Oh my God, what a save!
Some ridiculous goals, ridiculous missed goals, certainly our fair share of feistiness, where it was actually the goalies who were all over the action this week. We saw a rat choking a weasel, Nachos thrown on the ice in this economy, Matthews playing with a goalie stick, and yes, some great sound bites.
Not again.
Teach Chuck and Nux 5 minutes for fighting.
It was not your fault.
Can't experience until you experience the experience.
Gotta make sure I'm like jumping around and looking.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I don't know.
There's plenty to cover, so let's get to it. Starting with this. Friday night news broke that a trade was in the works with Hall going to the Canes. Well, that quickly escalated to Rantanen also going, as this was real footage of the hockey community. This felt like it dropped out of nowhere. I still cannot believe it. It was a three-way deal that saw Nachos and Jack Drury heading to Colorado, and again, Rantanen and Hall to Carolina. Congrats, Canes fans, and speaking of which, what horrible timing for these fans from Czechia. Here's the full trade if you're interested, but moving on, this week we saw Jacob Markstrom leave the ice in New Jersey after he was in a nasty-looking collision with Brazeau. This did not look good. Got the leg awkwardly caught here, but the good news, not season ending. However, he is out 4 to 6 weeks, so he will miss the Four Nations face-off. But further, also missing it will be Alex Pietrangelo. He announced his withdrawal from the Four Nations face-off, having to deal with an ailment, which you just hate to hear. Oh, wait, what is that? Is that Pietrangelo? That's right. He still played last night after announcing this and only logged 24 minutes of ice time. Yet he withdrew due to an ailment. Yeah, move over, Mark Stone. And lastly, we've seen Brad Marchand work hard to earn the title of Rat over the years, from the Slewfoots to licking guys, but he's been growing on people, so when you've got a reputation to uphold, he did just that against the Sens. As we had a sighting of the Boston Strangler, and here is real footage of Brad Marchand choking Nick Cousins. I am not sure what this was about, but it's Nick Cousins, so. But with that, that's a good segue to the nasty of the week, and this came in Minnesota after Ball was drilled from Jacob Lauko. He got ran into from behind pretty good as Ball was shaken up and would end up leaving the game. On Long Island, we saw Romanov absolutely steamrolling Cam York with a beauty of a hit. Another nice one came over in Vegas with McNabb just running through Reinhart. And then, not so nice, Hedl and Schneider with some friendly fire. Over in Detroit, Rasmussen, putting the lid on things, was tripped up by Kucherov in a pretty greasy little play from Kuch as Rasmussen would head down the tunnel. Also not so nice was Cole Smith getting the boot after he laid a devastating hit on Dellandrea, who snapped back pretty violently here, but I don't know about this one. It looks like shoulder to shoulder here, but then looked far worse here. People seemed pretty split on it, so let me know your thoughts down below. And then a super scary moment at MSG this week when Richard falling caught the skate of Keandre Miller, and this could have been so bad. While I'm sure this felt like a good punch to the face, somehow he luckily escaped without a cut, which is obviously great to see. Then over in San Jose, this was just a fantastic call.
Teach Chuck and Nux 5 minutes for fighting.
And speaking of Chuck and Nux, in the AHL, we had a full-blown brawl between the Hartford Wolfpacks and the Rochester Americans, most of which YouTube is going to age restrict, but we also nearly saw a goalie fight, which, what was up with the goalies this week? They were involved everywhere you looked. We had Kochetkov laying the boom on Bork in Dallas. Honestly, pretty solid hit from him. Back to MSG, it was Igor drawing a penalty behind his net, tripped up by Mario, but prior to this, upset with Tkachuk, he decided to take care of business himself, going after Tkachuk as they would go at it, which all of this was pretty great. Over in Minnesota again, this time it was Fleury getting involved as he took a big left from Anderson. A pretty good pop there, but geez. After all that, I think we got to chill out a bit. So, moving on, let's hit some quick ones. We had a couple of great wholesome moments. Gaudreau with his little one, and then in Nashville, Philip Forsberg with little Felix Forsberg. These are always fun to see. Yeah, fun to see. Like a second Elias Pettersson in Vancouver? You're not seeing doubles, as here is a live look at JT Miller.
I'd like you to meet my cousin Stanley.
There's two of them!
I'm kidding. Things appear to be falling into place, and plastic bags appear to be falling from space. Then in Edmonton, this was pretty great. Did you see it? Thompson sure did. What the hell is that? Well, somebody threw their nachos on the ice, which, guys, come on, so cheesy. And while Thompson wasn't thrilled about it,
I know you took blame for it, but that Perry goal, I don't think it was not your fault. Appreciate it.
That's a good one.
all right, this one was not on my bingo card. Enough ice to skate on the streets of New Orleans? Crazy. Also going viral this week was a clip of a hockey league in Pakistan. I mean, it's great to see the game is growing. Well, maybe not so much for the Islanders. This place is fucking empty tonight. This place is empty. Fucking joke. Oof. What a tap to the balls, am I right? I'm sorry. This one was pretty good in Chicago. Foligno doing an impression of Kaprizov, which came after he got called for holding, and for all the theatrics, it cost him an extra $2.
Can't experience until you experience the experience in this league.
Then a shark, a panther, and a dragon walk into an arena. I don't have a punchline, but that did happen. In LA, this was pretty cool. They repainted their ice to honor the LA Fire Department. Both the Kings and Penguins also wore hats during warm-ups, as you'll love to see it. And lastly, Marner and Woll got on stage this week at the Kygo concert.
Yeah, it was something. Yeah, I don't know. I could only watch it once, so.
We didn't know we were going to be up there the whole song, so that was maybe the most nerve-wracking. I got to make sure I'm like jumping around and looking pumped on the stage.
I love it. But with that, get you a snack. It's time to take a look at the goalies. Starting with Blackwood in Colorado, who made an out-of-this-world stop on Jiricek. Still rocking that turquoise gear, but it was working as, wow, he had a second top-tier stop. Flashes the leather on Eriksson Ek, as it was the week of the Trapper. Dobbish in Montreal shut down Nason with the glove, and similarly in Boston, Korpisalo with first the pad and then the glove with a great effort. Down in Dallas, we had Oettinger stunning Vegas, submitting his save of the year candidate. This was absolutely disgusting.
What a save!
But maybe my favorite of the week has to go to Charlie Lindgren, who on his way out had to make a crazy shortstop save. I mean, give him the Golden Glove, just beautiful stuff. In fact, I think I'm going to add that one to the Louvre as well. Here, this was hilarious. Elvis would lose his stick, so he ripped it away from Matthews, who was like, okay, I guess I'll take yours then. And even though he did drop it, he was immediately called for the penalty, as both got called.
Decided to play with his for a second. So, I gotta read the rule book, I guess.
Matthews also ran into another goalie this week as he attempted the Michigan against Tampa, but he was shut down by Johansson, who read it perfectly. Kudos to him, and kudos to Fedotov as well with the assists on the bench. What a beauty. And then, what else could this mean? Only the return of Paul missed the net, of course.
You suck! Hey,
as he seemingly cursed guys this week. We had Eichel in overtime, missing a wide open net to win it as he could not believe it. Hedman had a brutal one in Detroit to tie it. Joseph in St. Louis put one off the pipe. Draisaitl with no goalie hit one, as yeah, it's a goalie's best friend, all right, as Nylander here with Merzļikins beat would also catch iron. But having said that, we did get plenty of pretty goals as well, so let's take this baby home. To start, what's better than scoring your first career hat trick? Your mom being the first with the hat on the ice, but even better, doing it when you've got 80 friends and family in attendance, as this had to be unreal for Fantilli.
Oh. Not again.
In Montreal, we had Slafkovsky scoring from a ridiculous angle. I still don't know how he got this past Vasilevsky, but he did. Then we had Cale Makar doing Cale Makar things against the Jets, scoring a beauty while falling. He is so sick. In Minnesota, we had the return of the Anderson stare down as he would get the monkey off his back to net his 7th and immediately stare down a Minnesota fan. I love this. Then making it look easy, first in Vancouver, it was Hughes casually cutting through the slot and ripping home the backhander. Beautiful. Then Kyle Connor against the Flames carved them up as he hits the windmill, splits the D before finishing it top cheese. So nasty. And then Matt Rempe? Are you kidding me? He scores with a beautiful finish against Ottawa. Back to the island, we had Aho score a funky one, bounces this one off George and in, but none crazier this week than what we saw in Ottawa. Highmore's pass hit Marner's stick, bats it again off Pinto's knee. It goes up and over wall before just barely crossing the line in what has to be the strangest goal of this year. Over to the KHL, nothing strange about this one as Ivan Demidov between the legs around the defender just beats the goalie as wow. That's the future of the Canadians right there, folks. And last but certainly not least, we saw the great chase continue with the grade 8 scoring number 875, now just 20 away from the record. But I think that'll about do it for this one, folks. Thank you for watching, and I'm going to leave you with this great compilation of EJ trolling Brian Smith.
The Flyers conclude the Pacific Time Zone. Nothing win over the Anaheim Ducks on game day preview. Flyers back at home against the Detroit Red Wings. The New York Islanders. This is the first meeting between these two clubs, and then they are now 5-0-1.